Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we are here with a palette bingo. I wanted to do one of these because I haven't done it in absolutely forever. I wanted to pull out my singles palette. I recently reorganized my singles into brands, and I did actually purchase this palette right here, and I did reorganize them into this palette. Well, not all of them, but like my smaller brands I reorganized into this palette. Like in one of those videos, the most recent one, and someone asked if I could do a palette bingo with this palette. So I have decided to pull this one out, and my idea today is to pull one shade from each kind of layer in here. So I do have them kind of in brand order. So I want to pull like one shade from each layer in here. It might be that I pull like only shimmers or not like enough to do a full look. So I might pull in a couple shades from like my Panda palette, something like that, just to complete the look, but we'll see what I end up pulling. So that is going to be the video today. I have already done my base makeup. Normally my palette bingos I do it afterwards, but with my little one I kind of wanted to do my base before, because then she's down for a nap now and fingers crossed I can complete this video before she wakes up. But again, it's unpredictable, we'll see how it goes, but I wanted to do my base makeup before so that, you know, at least it's out of the way and I could do it earlier when she was awake. So that is going to be it for today. I'm going to jump into the video, but before I do that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull from this palette here. We're going to start with the top layer, which is this one here. I have counted out the shadows and there's currently 21 in here, so I'm going to go ahead and roll 1 to 21. And the first number we're going to get is going to be number 11. Alright, so we have the palette right here and there's 7 on each row, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have this Cleona shadow right there. I think this one is called Ancient Coin, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is. So this is the first shadow right there, and it is a shimmer shadow. And there we have the swatch of it. It's a really cool kind of gunmetal-y kind of shade. So it has a little bit of green to it and it has a beautiful sparkle running through it. It's a stunning shade. So that is the first shadow. The next palette we have, or like the next layer we have, is this one right here, which is the Pastel Roses. The other one was kind of like miscellaneous brands, but this is the Pastel Roses, and I have 25 shadows in here. So let me randomize 1 to 25. So I have put in 1 to 25 and the number we get is going to be number 9. So again, we have 7, 8, 9, and that is a shimmer shadow. Of course, all of these are shimmers, but this I think is, yeah, it's a little star, which is actually a shadow that I had in my Panda eyeshadows. It's a beautiful kind of yellowy, it's like a, yeah, like a yellowy kind of base shadow. It's quite a neutral base, with a slightly green to yellow to blue shift. It's super stunning. You can see it right there. Yeah, I think this one is going to be perfect for like the inner corner or something like that. And it does also go really nicely with Ancient Coin. Next up we have this layer here, which has my Colourpop pressed glitters and then my Glam Shop, and we have I think 23 I think added up to in here. So I'm going to go ahead and randomize the next shadow. I kind of hoping that we're not going to get pressed glitter, but we're just going to have to see. So I'm going to go ahead and randomize again. We get 15. Alright, so I did actually count them out and we have good news. First up, we actually got a matte, which is going to be really helpful, and also it is not a pressed glitter, of course. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It is the only matte in the palette, this green right here. And it is, again, this shadow right here called Kwasniak from Glam Shop, and that is the swatch of it right there. And I think this is a really cool color story, and they all kind of go together for now. The last palette we have is this one right here, and this one has 23 shadows in it, so we're gonna head and randomize again. And I just accidentally did it. Yeah, this kind of just randomized. I actually ended up when I picked it up, randomized to 23, which is the last shade in the palette, which would be really useful. It is the last shade, which is another green, so that could work. I obviously wanted to randomize on camera, but I didn't do that. So I think what I'll do is I randomize another shade from here and see which one I prefer, and I'll pick from them too. So I'm probably going to pick this one unless it's like doesn't really go with look, but we got 15. Yeah, so let me see what that is and I'll decide between the two. So 15 is this shadow right here, and I could go, but it's like not the easiest. You know what I'll do actually? I'm going to pull in both. why not? That way I can have more shadows and it's more mattes as well, which is going to be useful. The first shade is from the Juvia's Place, the Tri palette, which is called Tootsie. So that is the first shadow. And then the last shadow we have is this one here, which is from the NYX In Your Element Air palette. And I just named it Light Peach, so that is going to be the last shade. And those are the swatches. That is the color story. I really like how it turned out. I think these are beautiful shades together. I'm glad I rolled in both of those last two shades. But let's go ahead and create a look with these shadows. So I'm just priming my lid with some concealer. That's usually what I do from day to day. I never really do my makeup this way around. I always do my eyes first, but hopefully I don't get loads of fallout from these shadows, because that would be less fun. But I have prime eyes now with the concealers. Let's jump into the first shade. So the first shade I'm going to go in with is that kind of deeper green, the shade Tootsie from Juvia's Place. So it's going to be the first shadow. I'm going to put that on my outer corner. I'm just really trying to build that up, because this is going to be like the deepest shadow, like matte shadow that we have. And of course I'm going to blend this out later with that lighter green. And we have something like that. I quite like that shape. So I'm going to go in with the next shadow, which is going to be that lighter green from Glam Shop. So again, it is this shadow here. It's a bit more of a kind of yellow green. This shadow is quite powdery, but it's a beautiful shade. I love these type of greens. And again, I'm going to use that to blend out the Juvia's Place green. And we have something like that. I'm just going to go in with that first shade again and just kind of make sure it doesn't get lost in that outer corner. So then we have that shadow, and then we're going to go in with the last matte shade, which is that pink shade from the NYX palette. And we're going to put that on like the inner crease. I'm really lucky actually, because I love green and pink together. I just find them like the coolest combination. It's one of my favorites. Again, I love this combination, and it's up there. It's like my favorite together with like purple and yellow. That's another absolute favorite of mine. But yeah, I'm really lucky that I pulled these shades, because again, I feel like they all kind of go together. The only shade that I feel like doesn't go as well is Ancient Coin, which was the first shadow we rolled, but I think it's just because it's a bit more murky and grungy, whereas the rest of these shades are quite bright. And I'm taking this quite far up because I don't want to lose it when I go into the shimmers. Alright, so there we go. I do have a bit of like dry skin on my lid right here, so you can see that. It's not the shadow's fault, it is my skin. Again, I'm having some dry eyes at the moment with the weather changing, but yeah, that is the next shadow, and I really like how that turned out too. So let's go into the next shadow, which is going to be, well, the next shadows, which are going to be the shimmer shadows. But before I do that, I'm going to go in just with like a tacky base. This is from my current Product Level Up palette. It's the Rose Quartz palette. It's the shade, what's it called, Love Stone, which is that kind of jelly shade. It doesn't really give any color, but it just creates like a tacky base for the shimmers to stick to. So I'm going to apply these on both of the lids, and I'm not going like all the way on the lids, just like 2/3 before that green outer corner shade. But yeah, that is that base down. And I'm going to go right into the lighter shimmer, which is Little Star, again from the Pastel Roses. So I'm putting that on like small but slightly fluffy lid shade, like lid brush. And I'm going to go ahead and put this kind of all over the lid where I put that base down. And despite like having that base, it is a bit of a sheerer shadow, which I think works nicely because, well, I mean, it's not fully sheer, but it does kind of show through a little bit of that base at certain angles, which I think helps with that pink, but it also kind of brings in that greenness to the inner part of the lid. We do kind of lose a little bit of that pink, but that is okay. I mean, I didn't pull any pink shimmer, so it is what it is. Let me do this on that eye too. And then we have that shadow. I'm just going to use the same brush, and I'm actually going to use the other side of it and go into that other Ancient Coin shade, and I'm just putting that between that lighter shadow and that darker green, just kind of make that area a little bit darker to go into that green a bit better. and to include the shadow. And I really like it this way actually. I feel like it's pulling out the green out of the shadow, putting it next to that other green. And there we have it. I really like how that looks. Do I want to touch anything up? Maybe I want to just add a little bit more. I'm going to just touch up the sides where I feel like they're uneven, and I'm going to finish up the low lash line. So the question is what I want to do on the low lash line. If I want to bring in that pink again, or if I want to just keep the green going. I'm actually going to try to bring the pink down, just because I want that to be a feature, because I have a lot of green in this look and I don't want it to look out of place just in the inner crease. So I'm going to head and run this one under my lower lash line as well. Alright, so I put that pink down below my lash line, and that is basically the look done. Last thing to do is go back into Little Star, and I'm just going to put this on my inner corner. So there we have that. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to go off camera. I'm going to finish up my mascara and lips. I don't think I need to touch anything else up on my face. So let me go and do that, and I will be right back. And there we have it. I got changed as well. I got it changed out of my comfy clothes into like more of a, I don't know, dressed up little top, just because I'm gonna film another video of this, so I wanted to look the role. But this is how the look turned out. I really love how it turned out. Again, I just love these kind of warm greens with pinks, especially warm pinks like this too. I just think it's so pretty. I paired it with like a pinkier lip to again tie in the pink, and have the green more as an accent, although like the eyes are majority greens because the lid shades and everything are more kind of green leaning, and with that pop of pink on the crease and lower lash line. So I thought I would tie it in with a similar lip, and I really love how it turned out. I absolutely love it, and this again is the color story. I think I was very lucky with what I pulled. I'm glad that I actually ended up pulling both of those last two shades, because I think without that pink it would have been quite a boring look. So I'm glad I ended up keeping them both. I could have gone without that green, but I feel like that would just created like the slight bit of depth that I needed. So that is actually going to be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what kind of palette bingo you want to see next, or what kind of get rid of me, that kind of stuff. I am going to try to get into them, but it is hard now obviously with my baby being a bit unpredictable, because I need time to like get ready on camera. But again, today was actually quite easy to get it done. I might continue doing it like I did today and do my base before, but if you want to see any sort of get rid of me or palette bingo, let me know which type of those videos you want to see, and I will try to get them, you know, filmed at some point, maybe, you know, in November or December. I'll definitely have some free spots for videos in December, because I'm planning to do Vlogmas again. So yeah, let me know. But other than that, I hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.